What up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So, as you can tell by the title, continuing my little mini-series here. I did one like a week or two ago on Dark of the Moon for Studio Series. Now, continuing in the lineage of the first three Michael Bay films going down the trilogy, we are going to be moving on to Revenge of the Fallen, all the characters within Studio Series that they still haven't gotten figures, or there's one on this list that technically did get a figure, but it wasn't transforming and didn't have any articulation. So your guess, take a guess as this video goes along until I get to that character. But the first one on the list here, and by the way, I'm just going randomly, there's no order on ones that I want to see the most get done in Studio Series or whatever. I'm just talking randomly here, going along this list of all the characters that I could find from Revenge of the Fallen, not counting any video game or concept art characters either, just strictly ones that appeared in the movie. So with all that out of the way, first one here, Alice, one of the only pretenders that we've gotten in recent memory, and pretty much, and basically, yeah, the only pretender we've gotten in live-action Transformers films. Obviously, I wouldn't want the human form. It would have to be her Cybertronian form as a core class. I think that would be the perfect scale, or you could pack it in with some sort of, I don't know, Voyager or leader class if they really want to. I don't know how they could do this to make her transform, and maybe they could do the classic route of the Pretender shell, doing the human form of Alice, opening up, and you could place the Cybertronian version within it. I don't know, that's just an idea, but I seriously doubt they would do that. Maybe she'll transform into like some sort of protoform pod or something like that. But yeah, we still need Alice, and going along this list, the Dynasty of Primes, or whatever that was called within the movie, there were a few characters of the Primes. I think it was either the 7 Primes or the 13. I can't remember what number it is exactly. It's a bit confusing on the lore of the Dynasty of Primes within the Bayverse here. But there were 3 particular Primes that talked. They had a couple lines during the final battle, and I think during the exposition of the movie towards the middle or beginning, if I remember correctly. So it would be cool to get those 3 Primes, or pretty much all the Dynasty of Primes, remolded from the Fallen. We just got Leader Class Fallen, last year, a year and a half ago during Studio Series, so they already have the base mold to go off of for the rest of these Primes. So it wouldn't surprise me as like exclusives or extra figures down the line to keep the Studio Series toy line going, that we do get these Primes remolded from the Leader Class Fallen figure. Going along this list, we have here the Kitchen Bots. It would be kind of cool to see these in core class or packed in with other Voyager or Leader Class or maybe even Deluxe Class characters. But it would be cool to see transforming kitchen appliances. We did get, I think, one or a couple during the original Revenge of the Fallen toy line in 2009 and 2010. There was, I remember the toaster one. I can't remember if there were any other kitchen bots made, but man, I would not mind if we saw a Dickbot in Studio Series. I know that's a long shot. I mean, Hasbro doesn't even want to touch the twins in Studio Series these days, so we're probably not going to get D-Bot here, but it would be kind of cool and funny if we did, and the amount of memes that would come out within the Transformers fandom would flood all our Instagram and YouTube timelines and Twitter. It would be absolutely insane. But yeah, it would be kind of cool to see some kitchen appliance bots at some point. Moving along to some more characters, we have, I think that, was it Demolisher or Scavenger? I always get the two guys mixed up because there's obviously 2 versions of this Constructicon within the movie. The whole thing with the Constructicons in Revenge of the Fallen is really confusing with all the different characters and drones and copies of themselves that appeared within the movie. I might do a separate video on that one day, but I'm gonna go with Scavenger for this video, if my memory serves right. But he was the one that was in the Shanghai battle with that legendary scene where he breaks the bridge and Optimus jumps on top of him. One of the greatest shots of all time within the live-action Transformers franchise, if you ask me. It would be really nice to see him repainted from Studio Series Demolisher. We already have the figure. All they gotta do is just repaint him. I don't know why that hasn't happened by now. Demolisher came out, like 3-4 years ago? So I don't know what's taken Hasbro so long to do such a simple and iconic repaint within the Bayverse continuity. And we have some more, even more obscure Constructicons other than Scavenger. These ones didn't even transform in the movie. They were more so drones for the Devastator robot mode, I think. There was this I think his name was Payload. They did the repaint of Long Haul into Payload from the Hunt for the Decepticons line. It's like this yellowish dump truck or whatever it's called. I don't know the names of these construction vehicles, but this guy, it would be nice to get a repaint of Long Haul for this guy, because I'm pretty sure he was the one that combined for Devastator within that Egypt final battle. So, again, another easy repaint for Hasbro that I don't understand why they haven't done. And there's this other Constructicon bot. He's yellow, so I don't know. I think he would be an all-new mold if they were to do him, because if they were just to repaint, say, Rampage, again, I can't remember the name of this construction vehicle, but maybe like a bulldozer or something, let me know in the comments. But, I mean, we already got Skipjack repainted from Rampage, so I guess this guy would be an all-new mold, and there is quite a few different concept art Constructicons to go off of to create a robot mode for this guy, who actually did appear in the movie. He combined with Devastator. He was one of the Constructicons to combine with Devastator. Like, it makes perfect sense to do him in Studio Series. He appeared in the movie, and again, they could use one of the concept art Constructicons that never made it into the final cut of the movie for the robot mode, so the figure can actually transform and be an actual transformer within the Studio Series toy line. So again, another Constructicon that I would love to see that actually did appear in the movie. While not have a prominent role at all, he did form Devastator, so it would be kind of cool to see this. And I mentioned this in Dark of the Moon, but they also appeared in Revenge of the Fallen. Come on, Hasbro. Protoforms, Decepticon, Autobot Protoforms, we need these. It would be an easy moneymaker for Hasbro. Like, these are army builders. They could do different versions of them. Like, these have repaint and remold potential for days. Like, there's so many different head sculpts and weapons and intricate little design details that change between the different types of Protoforms, whether it's Autobot or Decepticon. Like, Hasbro, y'all are just slacking on the army building potential in Studio Series. Like, come on, we need some live action Protoforms stat, Hasbro. And another little crazy creepy Decepticon from ROTF. We have the Doctor's Helper, or whatever his name was called within the concept art. He's this slimy, creepy, worm-looking thing with these big, beady red eyes that went inside of Sam's mouth to get the knowledge from his head in that one scene. It would be cool to see this guy packed in with some sort of character. It would also be nice to see some hatchlings to go along with those protoforms. Maybe they could pack it in with, say, a Voyager, or maybe even a leader-class protoform if they want to be risky and do a leader-class protoform. But yeah, it would just be so dope to get these little accessories to put with your toy photography or stop motions within Cybertron or Earth or whatever you want to do with it. And the MVP Bonecrusher clone, I think that was his actual name within the movie, correct me if I'm wrong. He is an upscale of the original Bonecrusher CG render from the first movie. It just seems like a no-brainer for Hasbro to do this. Like, you could just market it as Bonecrusher, but change the packaging to Revenge of the Fallen and just upscale the original Bonecrusher Voyager class from 2019 and turn it into a leader class. That thing would sell like hotcakes if you ask me, because the Voyager class, if I remember correctly, was just a little bit out of scale, because I think Bonecrusher is supposed to be 25 feet tall and Optimus is 28 feet tall in the movies, and I think Bonecrusher only goes to Optimus's waist, or just a little bit past Optimus's waist, the Studio Series figure, so he still seems a little bit too short. So if they were to possibly upscale this guy, like in another inch or 2 or 3 inches, that would be a bit of a better scale in terms of different shots you want to do, or stop motions, whether it's with action or just plain vanilla posing. So it's another no-brainer for Hasbro from repaint / remold, or in this case, an upscale side of things. The only Insecticon, I think, that ever appeared in the Bayverse, he appeared in Revenge of the Fallen, and I think he deserves a core class release stat. I can't remember what he transformed into. It looks like some sort of mini satellite type thing on top of his head there, before Sam rips his head off and kills him. It would be cool to see the only Insecticon that made it into the live-action franchise get a figure within the core class of Studio Series, because yet again, he did appear in the movie. He wasn't just concept art or video game-only character. Scorponok is another one that would be dope for core class. You could either repaint or remold the blackout Scorponok mold from 2018, or they could just do a new one that transforms into some sort of protoform skeleton, or they could take that same sort of robot mode that they had with the original 2007 Deluxe, just so he has a transformation for a retail core class release. But in terms of the repaint, I don't know if there's any different deco between the first movie and Revenge of the Fallen for Scorponok. The original Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe, they did him in black and white and red in that toy line, so I don't know how accurate that is. I'm pretty sure it's not accurate, and it was just a reused 2007 model for Scorponok for Revenge of the Fallen, so I don't think there was any color change. So potentially they could just market it as a 2007 Scorponok, and then maybe even down the line at some point repack it and rebrand it as an ROTF Scorponok as well. I don't know, just a lot of options out there, Hasbro. And now moving on to the Doctor himself. I think it would be a fun core class release if they packed in his weird little slimy helper along with the Doctor figure, because he transforms into some sort of telescope, I think. Well, at least in the original figure from the ROTF toy line with Scout class, that's what he transformed into. So it would just be a fun little pack of thing if they did the Doctor and his helper within the core class. And another obscure Decepticon that made it into the movie, Reedman, however you want to pronounce that. He was another sort of mini combiner within Revenge of the Fallen. He was made up of all those little micro Decepticons, if you guys remember in that one scene. Again, it would be a cool little core class release. I'm thinking if they had like three mini Decepticons similar to the designs from the movie combined to form Reedman, I think that would just be a fun core class release, and it would be unexpected too, and I think a lot of people would really like that if I'm being honest. And now getting into some controversial territory, Skids and Mudflap people, yep. We were bound to talk about these guys when I'm doing a video about Revenge of the Fallen characters that haven't gotten figures in Studio Series. I've been hearing that the designers that work on Studio Series on Instagram block people who talk about wanting these guys done in Studio Series. If you ask me, that's a bit harsh, but I don't know, I guess maybe there's some things internally within Hasbro and Paramount where they don't want to touch these characters again due to the controversies that happened back in the day, and just due to how things are these days. But again, it would still be really cool to see redos of these guys. And even one of the voice actors themselves, which by the way is a black guy, he said that he didn't even find these guys offensive. He just saw them as like stupid posers that were trying to make their way through Earth culture through the lens that they saw it, the limited lens that they saw Earth culture. So I don't know. I don't think it would be as controversial as Hasbro thinks to do Skids and Mudflap within Studio Series. So, yeah, come on. Give us Skids and Mudflap. Stop playing around. And the last one on the list, we technically did get a static action figure of Wheelie packed in with Dark of the Moon later class Shockwave back in 2020. But again, I just think he would be a dope core class release. I don't know what's making Hasbro slacking on the Studio Series core class characters. We get freaking Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, all these Bumblebee movie characters like Shockwave that don't even need core class releases. We got all these SS86 characters that don't need core class releases. Where are the characters that actually deserve it from the live action continuity that would maybe scale just a little bit better under core class. Now, he would be a really small release, so maybe pack in, I don't know, maybe do a 2-pack with brains and have the transformations be really simple because of how small the 2 would be. Again, they could market it as Dark of the Moon and rebrand it to Revenge of the Fallen as a repack later on down the line in Studio Series. That's just a little thought I had there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all the list of Revenge of the Fallen characters that still need Studio Series figures. I don't know when or if a lot of these guys are going to happen, but hey, these are the ones that are still missing. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I want to talk about in this video. Let me know down in the comments below. What do y'all think about this list of Revenge of the Fallen characters that still need Studio Series figures? Who do you want? Who do you think is going to happen? And how soon do you think we're going to get these characters? All my social medias are linked down below. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. My email is also down below if y'all just want to hit me up and talk to me, or if you want to email me about business inquiries, or if you want to commission a diorama from me, because I make dioramas for people for their stop motions, tour photography, or just regular display shelves at home. You could either DM me on any of my social medias, or you could just email me and we could work out a deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye!